Hello and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio. I'm your host, Bob Martin, President and CEO of the Imagine America Foundation, also known as IAF. To date, IAF has supported more than 190,000 enrolling high school seniors as they embark on their skilled trades education journey with scholarships, career resources, and financial planning tips. To learn more about how the Imagine America Foundation can support your students as they prepare for college during their senior year in high school, visit our website at www.imagine-america.org. On today's session of Imagine America Radio, we're featuring Porter and Chester Institute, also known as PCI. Located throughout the states of Connecticut and Massachusetts, Porter and Chester Institute has been providing top quality education in the skilled trades sector since 1946. At Porter and Chester Institute, their mission is to support committed students in achieving the technical and professional skills essential for their chosen career through an industrial-based model, student-centered education and training. Counselors, if one of your students you support currently is interested in a career in skills trades, I urge you to visit their website at www.porterchester.edu. Together with Porter and Chester Institute, the Imagine America Foundation has helped more than 4,800 enrolling students earn a scholarship as they train at Porter and Chester. Today, we're going to be joined by Jack Burke, Director of High School Admissions Recruiting at Porter and Chester Institute. Jack has dedicated his career to higher education and has now spent more than 34 years at PCI. You are in very, very good hands. So let me turn the floor immediately over to Jack. Jack, welcome.
Hey, thanks again, Bob. It's always good to be on these calls with you. So you can see the slide in front of you, Discover PCI. So in the next 7, 8, 10 minutes, we're going to discover, what we're all about. If you have any questions, we have a couple of minutes at the end where we can take some Q&A. So the first thing we'll talk about is the agenda. So I do want to welcome you, high school, counselors and teachers and administrators and all of you that are joining these information sessions. They're very important. So welcome. Who is Porter and Chester Institute? As Bob mentioned, we've been around since 1946. We are a post-secondary school. Our admissions requirements are centered around high school graduate or GED. So it's very important that the high school students graduate. I always say that in these presentations because being a huge supporter of that, whenever we make presentations, we make a lot of them in the high schools or have the campus tours come to our campus. We always emphasize the importance of students graduating. Very, very key. What programs do we offer? We're going to cover that. And then we talk a little bit about educational funding. And like I say, we'll do some Q&A. So congratulations. Now, we have this slide here, and it's so funny. I always like to refer to this. This is a congratulatory slide for your students and for you, obviously, for you as professionals. Education runs in my family. My mother was a high school guidance counselor. My father taught English up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, up there. So I know when I say congratulations, I'm talking to the professionals every day that work with these students and help them through all of their life's pathways. So thank you for everything that you do. And he's kind of she is kind of a sign in terms of technology as well. So it's kind of cool. I love that picture. We have a fantastic graphics department. I just want to kind of kick it off and talk a little bit about the different pathways to education. As we know, you have the 4-year college, you have the 2-year college, you have the post-secondary schools. That's what we're labeled. You also have the military, sure, and then you also have OJT. So it's okay to set your sights on careers in healthcare, computers, skilled trades. And a 4 or more year major at a large college campus aren't for everyone. We all know that. I love education, grew up with it. I have some education myself, but I've always found that the education that is useful is the best. When I got into this sector, my mother, who like I said, was a high school guidance counselor for many years, she said, "Jack, why are you going into technical education?" Well, first of all, I graduated from technical high school on the college path. But anyway, I said to her, "Mom, I said, I really want to have an education that at the end of the journey, they can go out there and they can make some money. And that whether you're a nurse or you're an HVAC technician, electrician, or maybe an automotive technician." And she said, "Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense." So 4 more year colleges for many, many people. I applaud them. I endorse them. Community colleges, I endorse them, the military, all of that. But we fill a particular niche for that student that comes out of high school. They feel that they want to, spend a year in school. And it's affordable because of companies like Imagine America Foundation and such, and get out there and start making some money in a year's time. So career education and training in the year 2023 and soon to be 2024 is much more than a consolation prize. 5 great things about Port and Chester. I'll go quick here. We're in New England, born and raised. Why is that important? Well, I'm going to go over the campus locations in a couple of minutes. Why that's so important is in my other lifetime, I spent in a corporate level. I managed 11 campuses, 3 in Pennsylvania, 3 in Massachusetts, and then at that time we had, a slew of them in Connecticut. And it was amazing to me. If that was just for admissions and marketing, but I would find that the demographics, the job market, the careers that are needed within York, Pennsylvania is totally different than somebody that's in Boston, Massachusetts, which is totally different than somebody that is in Springfield or Stratford or whatever. So born and raised in the New England area is really, really important. We have our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the community and education wise. So that's why that's so important. We do have some online programs that are very successful as well, but we're very proud of our campuses. And as Bob mentioned, we have industry modeled labs, which are really cool as well. Technical education for 75 years, flexible career training programs. We're going to go over that. Teams to support you. It's huge. We all know that, especially I'm speaking to the choir here, of how important it is for a student to see consistency, whether it's in a high school. I spent some time years ago as a substitute teacher in a technical high school. I loved it, absolutely loved it, and I enjoyed it. And I always found so encouraging how the guidance department was plugged into the administration and the vice principals and the teams that support them in a high school. We're the same way. Campus directors are plugged in. We have educational funding. We have a student services division if somebody has a tough time with transportation or babysitters or whatever. So there is a lot of support for the students. And of course, we're nationally accredited with the ACCSC accreditation, which allows the students to then become qualified to take the Title IV funding, which we know is all about that FAFSA. All right, so our mission, thank you, Bob, for covering that in your introduction. We support committed students. Our values are strong. You notice the last one there is having fun. People say, having fun. I'm going to school. You can have fun in school. That's what you guys do every day in the high schools. I'm in a lot of high schools, and I know they have fun. You have to have a little bit of humor, and you have to have some levity and such, and help the students, and we do that as well. But professionalism, integrity, trust, accountability, teamwork, excellence, relationships, and enjoying what you're doing, and then our vision. Okay, this is a good map here because it kind of shows where we're located. As I mentioned before, we have 3 campuses in Massachusetts. We have one in Brockton, which is about 30 minutes south of Boston. We have one, right in the middle there in Worcester, and then we have one at the west Massachusetts, which is in Chicopee. Right below that is Enfield, Connecticut, which is up near the airport. We have a campus in Bridgeport down below there, which is about 45 minutes, maybe even less, to Yonkers there. And then we've got Hamden, New London, and I'm actually speaking to you from the Waterbury campus that you can see that located as well. So why so many campuses? Again, I go back to what I said originally, born and raised within the New England area, is when you have a campus in a location like that, you are tied into the employers, very, very key. And the high schools, very, very key. So it's a little school, little red schoolhouse type of a thing. We have a lot of graduates that graduate every year that come out, and we have a career services division that handles the graduates. We work with them on their resume, interviewing techniques. And of course, we have a database of thousands of employers that we work with. Very, very important slide that we're talking about here. And you can see financial aid is available to those who qualify. I know I speak quickly. I'm sorry, but I'm going to get through this. Oh, by the way, just a quick fun fact. I used to do a lot of public speaking, and people would say, no, you're not going too fast. I can absorb it. Little fun fact there is that the human brain, from what I investigated, can absorb about 450 words a minute. We can kind of work with that and break it down and process it. So for the heck of it, I time myself even after a couple of cups of coffee, and I wasn't even at 250. So I know you're with me. So financial aid is available. Why? Because we're accredited. And I tell students, if you go to a school and they say we're not accredited, oh, we don't want to go through that stuff. And, you just pay cash and we make our own decisions. We don't have the federal government working. No, I tell the students I'd head in the other direction. So financial aid is available at all of our campuses, the Title IV funding. And together with that, very fortunate to have Imagine America Foundation, a staunch supporter of us for many, many years. I've known Bob for many, many years, and Lauren. And we have a tremendous trust with one another. And I can tell you stories, don't have time, but just like you can tell stories about students that get really emotional when they realize they can do it. I have seen Imagine America make the difference between students being able to get, their tools paid for. Or how about McDonald's? I don't have to work at McDonald's now because I got that Imagine America scholarship. I can come to school and I don't have to work 2 or 3 nights a week. So it's huge. We bolt together with the IA a Porter and Chester grant opportunity of 2,000. So you can actually stack these two. So between Imagine America and the Porter and Chester scholarship grant, you can get about $3,000, which is really really helpful, especially when our tuition isn't that much. It's average tuition. You'll go to porterchester.edu and you're going to see the average tuition ranges between 25 to 30,000, maybe 32,000, all in with tools and everything. So by the time they go through the educational funding department, financial aid, if they're Pell Grant eligible, that's good. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. That's up to the federal government. But whatever grants they get, you also add into that Imagine America and this other scholarship. And it can be, quite substantial when you're talking about when you work with the tuition of 25 to 30, you get 3,000, it's almost 10%. So it's pretty big. All right, so the trades. These are our programs, our majors: automotive, electrician, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration, plumbing, and welding. So that's under the trades. Healthcare, we have dental assisting, medical assisting, and practical nursing. And then we call it, skilled or technology, is the computer-aided drafting and design, computers, and then electronics. I'm going to skip how we're learning. We have hybrid courses. We have on-campus courses. A lot of this is explained to you on porterchester.edu, but I kind of want to get through a couple of these slides. And I'm going kind of quick here because I know your time is extremely valuable. Thank you for carving the time out and sitting there. I know you've got many, many students that you work with. So medical assistant is here. See practical nursing. Again, you can do a deep dive on porterchester.edu. And it gives you videos, it gives you testimonials, employer testimonials. It's a lot of good information there. And breakdown. So you can see we have a medical building and coding course. It's an online program. Here's automotive technology, for example. You go to the porterchester.edu, you're going to be able to pick up some of this information, and then you're going to be able to see the tuition. Now, for example, we'll just break this one down. Automotive, the tuition is $27,525, and then the length of the program is 12 months. So that's pretty indicative of most of our trades. So it's a year-long program, either during the day or during the evening. So you get down in 12 months, and the tuition ranges in that range of about $27,525, and then you have to add some tools and equipment on this. So when the parents ask me, I say it's in the range of 30,000. Here you give or take a little bit, and then it gives you the on these particular slides we give you the career outlook based on the BLS statistics. HVAC. This one is great. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration. Students get their license. They're empowered tremendously. Electrician, we know what that's like. Hard to get an electrician these days, and they have more than enough work. Low voltage, this is like your alarm systems and security systems and things like that. And plumbing, it's funny, I was actually meeting with the superintendent of schools in one particular town and here in Connecticut. And we got to the end of I was talking to them about a career exploration program that we offer here at Porter and Chester that we'd love you to take a look at the porterchester.edu and go right into the portion about admissions and over to the high school counselors. Scroll down and you'll see career exploration program. I manage the program. You'll see my name there. And it's a fantastic opportunity for high schools. But anyway, we were sitting there and we went over everything with the superintendent of schools. He had his curriculum experts there, about 3 or 4 people. And when we were done, kind of put everything away, and it was a great meeting. And he said, it's funny. He said, I had a plumber come over to my house about 3 weeks ago. And he came in, he fixed the job. It took him an hour. And as he left, he gave me the bill. And he said, here's the bill, $275 for an hour. And the superintendent said, totally understand that you were able to come in and fix it in an hour because you're a professional, you know how to do that. And he goes, and I'm happy to pay the money. He says, you guys are unbelievable, fantastic. And he goes, by the way, do you have any more appointments like this at $275 an hour? Yeah, I have 7 of them. So the superintendent cracked up laughing. He goes, you guys, this is education that on the other end of it has a promise of, being able to, not a promise, but an opportunity to be able to make a very good living because the jobs are there. Why I conclude with welding here and then computer-aided drafting. 2 things that we don't guarantee, that you can't guarantee in post-secondary education. One of them is financial aid. There's no guarantees with that, and there's no guarantees with job placement. We have a career service division. It's called job assistance. I will tell you, all of our statistics are on our website. You can see, how we do. We do quite well, but we just can't guarantee a job. Nobody really can. So we don't guarantee financial aid. We don't guarantee a job, but we give everything we possibly can to that student because we can't go out and interview for the student, but we can sure prepare them for that. We do that, of course. Steps to success, really, really important stuff. So we teach the soft skills as well. Here's our financial aid Title IV funding. We have an educational funding department that helps the students do their FAFSA. I know you do that in the high schools too. You have the FAFSA nights and that type of thing, which are great. And then we also have, the ability to help the students. So they go in there, they get their FSA ID, and they take it from there. And again, total Title IV funding and financial aid is so key to them, to the students. Here's your Imagine America again. And as I wrap it up now, classes are forming. We actually have 5 class starts every year. And usually high school students will join in August and October. As we know, that's usually the time that they do that. We just had a start about a week and a half ago, and then we'll have another start in October. But then we also have starts in January, March, and May. So sometimes they want to take a little bit of time off and come back. So they can apply year round. Just go to porterchester.edu. They apply online. There's a link there for them. You can see it here, and it takes them through it step by step. And that's what I have for you today, Bob and Lauren. And so I'll stop here.
Hey, thank you. Great job as usual. I really appreciate it. A couple of observations, and you went into detail in explaining that there is no guarantee for employment and there's no guarantee for financial aid. However, I'm sure you can share with us your placement rates for your students, your graduates, right?
Oh, sure, absolutely, Bob, and that's on our website. I mean, even ACCSE has as you know, ACCSE has
Yeah.
criteria around grad rates, placement rates, cohort default rates, and if you're a good school, you have to abide by those. But they also strictly adhere. ACCSE requires us to make that mention that we don't guarantee either one of them because
Yeah.
that's ethics and that's the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're what I'm trying to get to is they're pretty good, aren't they?
Oh yeah, sure. Like you could have a cohort that is 70%, 80%. We have some that like are they're 99%, like
Yeah.
LPN. We have I'll tell you, many of our students graduate with a job already.
Yeah.
And so that's what we strive for, with the job already. And I'm in the Waterbury campus right now, and gosh, I can walk down the hall, bump into 5 or 6 HVAC students, and they'd tell you, well, I already have a job that's I'm out in the field now, but I'm coming to school,
Yeah.
and that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important, but I really appreciate you laying it out up front so that people you raise you can manage expectations, and that is if you're a good student and you work hard and you come to Porter-Chester Institute focused, you graduate on time, there's a 70-80% probability you're going to get a good job when at the end of it, that according to what your cohort was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, being in the business, in a lot of different departments and divisions. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, even the guy that I met this morning at Sirocco, I told you a story about Panera. He's hired tremendous amount of Porter and Chester grads, and he told me that. Yeah, absolutely. So Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then the other thing what that leads into is this whole financial aid scenario, in other words, what I'm getting to is going to Porter and Chester Institute is a substantial commitment financially for the family or the individual that's going to be doing it. But you have a pretty impressive process where you will help the student if they want to file for the FAFSA, understand what they're eligible for, and help them put the package together so they better understand and can make a good decision on that educational, right?
Oh, yeah, so true. And absolutely, every student that comes in, every student that applies online will automatically be directed towards our portal where they can actually create they go out of our portal into the government's portal. They create their FSA ID, which is the keys to the kingdom there with the federal, application, free
Right,
application for federal student aid. So
right.
they can do their FAFSA. So absolutely, Bob. And to answer the question really direct is that what ends up happening is once they do that, we actually meet one-on-one either through a Zoom, a lot in person. And then we sit down with the parents and we explain why they have to put their information on the FAFSA, and we work together with them to find a plan
Yeah,
that they can
yeah.
work with.
I think that's important because we sometimes don't completely understand. This is a big, big deal to make a decision to go to a school like Porter and Chester Institute because of the cost and because
Absolutely.
the parents, because you're high school students, the parents are usually pretty engaged in the process, and sometimes they got to be engaged in the financial aid side of it. Now, let me go to requirements. You got any GPA requirements for admission to Porter and Chester?
We don't, and the reason we don't is that we feel that a student we generally have really great conversations with the student. The only criteria to get into the school, I say only, but it's a lot, is like I emphasize the high school graduation. As long as they've graduated from high school or have a GED, then generally they're going to be able to work out okay. And we don't have the time right now, but I would go through. I mean, it's Bob. I know how many years that we have both been in the business, and I've seen so many students, successful students, that never thought they could even get out of high school. They're maybe in the bottom 25%, and basically squeaked by in algebra, and then all of a sudden they come here and they find out, oh, wait a minute, Ohm's law and algebra, it's all applied math. Hey,
Yeah,
I can do this.
yeah, you can
So
do
so
this.
so GPA. No
Yeah,
requirements to get in. When they do get into our school, we have GPA requirements and satisfactory academic progress and things like that. But
right, right. Now, if someone's interested in Porter and Chester Institute based upon this conversation, can you want to direct them to the apply now? The
yes,
with
yes, please. Yeah, on the screen you've got the porterchester.edu apply now, and we also have our QR code there. So it's real easy. And honestly, I'll tell you right now, we're just getting into the 2024 school year, and all of a sudden, we're still getting a lot of applications from what were juniors and now seniors. So it's pretty easy. Just go right to apply now, and we'll pick it up from there and help them.
Hey, what if you got a school, a counselor or educator wants to have one of you guys come in and talk to their students, contact you?
Yes, please. Yeah, if you could contact me, and again, you go to porterchester.edu, you'll see right at the top admissions. Click on admissions, slide down to counselors, and when you get in there, you're going to see my name and contact information, and you can actually even book the presentation right there on the website. It's really helpful. You can
Yeah.
put the time in there. But thanks, Bob, for that. Yeah,
Well,
call
that's
me at any time, and I'll make sure that we service that. We do presentations, college fairs, and we also do a lot of tours at our campus.
what's your phone number and what's your email?
My phone number is 860-402-9173. And then if you wanted to reach out to me by email, it's easy. It's just J Burke. So it's JBURKE at porterchester, one word.com.
Got it. Good. That's good information. Thank you. Hey, before closing, we want to thank the education participants for taking time out of their very busy schedules to join us today. We really appreciate it. As Jack said, and Lauren on our side with me, we know that you got a lot of demands in your time. We know you got a lot of people interested in talking to you. We just really appreciate you carving out a few minutes to listen to today's presentation. I'd like to thank Jack for sharing today's presentation. He did a great job, and I would also encourage you to contact him directly over any questions regarding any of the programs that are offered by Porter and Chester Institute, the admission, the financial aid, anything that has to do with Porter and Chester Institute. Go directly to the website and or Jack Burke. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Jack Burke, Lauren Cunningham, who's joined me here in the studio, and myself, thank you and have a great day. Goodbye.